good morning, Mike. Coming in good here this morning. Whiskey 7, Mexico Sierra. This is Whiskey 4, Delta Victor, Quebec. Got you in the number 1 spot, Mike. So for early check-ins, please come now.
WA.
Okay, I got WA7 YBS in the number 2 spot. There was somebody else right there with you. Please check in now.
W6MQI.
Oh, good morning, Dave. I got you in the number 3 spot. That's W6MQI. Is there a number 4 out there? Please come now.
K0DWC.
Okay, got K0DWC in there, number 4. Is there a number 5 out there? Please come now.
I'm having a hell of a time here. WA7 YBS.
Henry, I got you in the number 2 spot. Are you copying me very well? Are you all right?
Yeah. W4 DVQ WA7 YBS. Just a little bit of equipment hang-ups here. My standby for the receiver is just a jumper with a clip lead, so it takes me a little while to go into the transmit mode. WA7 YBS.
Got you on that, but there's another fella out there that's been trying to check in. I don't have yet. If anybody can help me out with him, there's noise on him or something. For number 5 spot, please check in now.
W6 SSP.
Okay, W6 SSP, Steve, I got you in the 5. Is there a number 6? Okay, so far the rundown is I got, for early check-ins, I got W7MS, Mike in Reno, good morning, and WA7YBS, Henry in the number 2, good morning. Number 3 is W6MQI, Dave, good morning to you. Number 4, of course, good morning to Chuck. And number 5 is W6SSP. Steve, good morning to you. Is there a number 6 out there? Please come now.
Number 6, K6 BX class. I'm not quite tuned up.
Good morning, Vern. I'm not quite tuned up either, but I'm glad you're here. The K6VXY is number 6. So, is there a number 7? Before we get this going, please check in now.
NU6.
Good morning, Ron. NU6F in the number 7 spot. Is there a number 8 out there? Please come now. Okay, I'm sure everybody's got the the rundown. Let me borrow your glasses. I got to do the introduction, so I need to borrow the old man's glasses. I didn't get mine. It's too early. Okay. Good morning. This is the Vintage Military Radio Net. This is Whiskey 4, Delta Victor, Quebec. My name is Carla, and I will be your net control this morning. We will be operating on 3974 KC. The Vintage Military Radio Net is a roundtable AM net that provides an opportunity for hams to operate their vintage and military radio gear on the air. Military gear is encouraged, but certainly not required. Check-ins will be given a number that can be used in the handoff. I will call for check-ins at the end of each roundtable session. If anybody has anything for sale or want that's radio related, please mention it during your turn on the roundtable session. So let me make one more call out to see if anybody wants to get in on this first round and be number 8. Please come now. Okay, nothing heard. So Ron, after you hand it back up to me. And Vern, you hand it to Ron. I know, I'm goofy this morning. So my rundown this morning, I'm on the ART-13, running about 200 watts. I'm on the Hallicrafters R274 with the D104 amplified microphone. And, wow. I'm going to go ahead and hand it up to Mike. It's rough on me this morning, boys. The cold's in my bones, and I'm aching and everything. But, W7MS to take it. W4 DBQ.
Well, thanks, Carla. Quick look at the steam gauges here. I think we're reasonably tuned up. Let me check. Yes, 0 for reflected power. K0DWC, W7MS, and stealing the old man's glasses. My gosh, it's a matter of desperation, but understand, yeah, a little bit of a cold snap. We've been spoiled this winter. I think low of 19 and a sustained low of 20 starting at about sunset. So it's we're into the cold soak mode, but it could be far worse because normally this time of year, and maybe it will happen, I can expect 0 or a few degrees below 0 and maybe a frozen pipe if I'm not taking care of business. But to business, this morning running old number 1, and that's the 30K1 with its adjoining exciter. It's also serial number 1 and listening on a relatively late model 75A1, which was had the dreaded total rebuild of the RF deck, which I don't want to repeat anytime soon, but it's been a few years ago, so I have a probably pretty good suppressed memory. And the military connection is the microphone, and courtesy of John Lawson in Dayton a few years ago, and as a freebie. And I think, what the heck is this thing called? I think it's an M65/U microphone from University Sound, but the microphone's an M44AU with a Atlas bass, chrome bass extension thingy, and the usual cast iron bass, and I think that's a mount 1583/U. But what makes it cool is that it's in olive drab and it's been NFP'd rather than the standard Atlas black. So that's the setup here, just a full impedance balanced output dynamic microphone. Application unknown, maybe public address system circa 1967. So maybe giving the arriving troops in the late great South Vietnam some bad news or welcome to country. But that's the short version. I do have a want, and we'll get into more specifics later. But if anybody has a errant junker 12-volt vibrator type power transformer that's, say, a car radio vintage, something that's designed to run usual 5 or 6 tubes, I'd appreciate it. I'll get into details later in my failing my latest smoke test. And with that, speaking of jumpers in smoke testing, let's see how Henry's doing. WA7YBS, W7MS.
Okay. W7MS, WA7YBS here. Well, I guess we're doing okay. And just checking. Yeah, things aren't matched up too good, but that's all right. We'll just keep going here. Good morning to all. Carla, Chuck, Mike, Dave, Steve, Vern, and Ron. Coming in fine here. And, well, as you can tell, we're on something different. This is the ATD, and we're running the ATD into the W6MIT linear amp for about 130 watts output. And I'm using the the EMS 94 element Electret microphone stuck into a Chicom Shure look-alike housing. So that's the transmitter, and the receiver is a BC348R, which when the Navy used them actually had a different designation. They were ANR11s or something like that. And at one time I had one of those Navy ones, and like an idiot, I didn't know what it was, so I sold it. But anyway, the Navy BC348s will have an AN stamped on the front. I didn't know that, but I do now. Unfortunately, this one is just plain old signal core BC348R Belmont radio. So anyway, let's shoot it over to Dave. Let's see, it was 25 degrees this morning, so not real cold, which that might be coming next morning or so. W6MQI, WA7YBS.
All right, WA7YBS, W6MQI. All right, Henry. Well, the ATD's sounding good. You must be running on a dynamotor, or the MIT's got a fan. I can hear something singing in the background there. First I thought it was an AM radio, but I think it's a dynamotor or a fan. But sounding good. Well, good morning, everybody. Carla, thanks for taking a net and swiping the old man's spectacles there. That's pretty cool. But good morning to Mike, Chuck, Steve, Vern, and Ron, and Henry as well. But it's 40 degrees here in Livermore, and we're on the ART-13 with the Collins R390A receiver. Now, I was going to use a TCS this morning, but I was too lazy. Came in here, and I just want to turn something on and use it, and that's what the ART-13 is all about. Turn and burn. So I have a lot as well. I am looking for some 4-conductor cable, roughly maybe a 1/4-inch diameter. I need really flexible cable. The one I'm using for this setup I have here is a plastic, some sort of plastic anyway, insulation. It's really stiff and gangly and hard to move around. And I'm looking for a nice flexible cable, 4-conductor. About 3 feet long is all I need. So that's my want. So over to Chuck, K0 DWC, W6MQI.
Okay, Dave. W6MQI, K0 DWC. All right, very good. Well, so far, everybody's coming in really great. Mike sounds great on the 30K1. Henry, the ATD, that microphone sounds really, really good. You definitely hear the dynamos in the background. And Dave, you're pounding in here as well on your ART-13. But, you know, it's funny. Yesterday, we just happened, Henry and I just happened to hit checking stations at the same time. And I turned everything on here just to make sure it was copacetic for today. And I heard Henry on testing. And Henry, I don't know if you changed the microphone or what, but you know, you were coming in here fine yesterday. I'm taking it was on the ATD, but you sounded a little gravelly. in the audio, and this time you sound much better. So I don't know if you changed the microphone or what, but it's funny because I heard you testing, and I flipped the switch and I called you like 3 times, and you know, I wasn't thinking. And Carla says, well, he probably doesn't have his receiver on, and I'm like, oh yeah. But anyway, it's pretty funny that Henry and I hit the transmitters at about the same time. But anyway, you know, I'm on the same basic station as Carla. I'm listening on the ARR7 though, so we got 2 receivers going at once. But anyway, I listed it down as the ARR7. But we'll keep it going, and I will send it down to Steve. Steve, how's things over in Santa Rosa? W6SSP in the Group K0 DWC.
Okay, I got a break there, guys. Good morning, Bill. I have you in the number 8 spot. It'll be after Ron, NU6F. Ron will hand it to Bill. And then, Bill, you can hand it back to me, W4 DVQ. So, go ahead, Steve, W6 SSP.
Carla, very good. And good morning, everybody. And Bill and the whole group. And, boy, we've got New Year's coming pretty soon. I hope everybody survived Christmas. We did here, but just barely. Won't go into that too much. But anyway, this is Steve, W6SSP, just north of Santa Rosa, basking in the warm glow of a Collins 75A1 receiver and matching 32V1 transmitter, both of which were in horrible shape and needed major work, including the RF portion of the 75A1 mic. So I understand the pain and the involvement in that and what it takes. And also, I also have a couple of wants. So this is a first for this group. 3 wants in one section. In one session, it is. These are for the Hines and Kaufman transmitter I mentioned last weekend. And what I'm looking for are a couple of Williams plug-in coils. The first one is a TVL, Tango Victor Lima -80, which is a plug-in push-pull coil, TA coil, on a ceramic jack strip, very similar to BC610 coils, but different enough to be kind of unique. Also for the JCL 80, that's Juliet Charlie Lima -80, which is a plug-in coil as well, but it's much smaller. It's used in the grid tank circuit of the PA in this transmitter. So if anybody has anything like that laying around, I would appreciate trying to talk you out of it. And let's see, Mike, I do have a vibrator power supply on a 6 volts, so I don't know if that'll work for you or not. But so we're on the next pass. Or to burn, K6VXY, W6SSP.
Okay, I hope this works. Yeah, it says I'm running around 100 watts or so here. This K6VXY, frantically organizing here. I got up in time for the net, and I made a mistake in the coffee making, and I don't know, I got coffee grounds everywhere, so I had to clean it up, because my wife would not appreciate it. And good morning to Carla. Good morning to Mike. Strongest signal, you're hitting 30 over. Signals are all strong this morning. Morning to Henry, Dave, and also to Chuck, Steve, and now me, and I'm turning it over to Ron. And good morning, Ron, and future good morning for Bill and 6BCT, number 8 there. Okay, so I'm running basic equipment here. I'm running the they call it the IC7200 and the AL811 by MFJ. Looks like today I'm running, how much power am I running? Around 100 watts or so. I drive it with 30 and that gives me 100. It's about a 3-to-1 gain out of it. I got a antenna this week. Oh, and also, Steve, I don't have any of those items. But I did get a couple speakers from the, what they call the Helping Hands home sale out of the Quonset hut. They're Polk speakers, and they look like 5x7s. I haven't got them apart yet, but they do work. I am using the other one I had, which is a, what is this? Magnavox. Magnavox? What is it? Magnavox. Yes. It's a hi-fi type speaker. This other one's smaller. It looks like there's a 5x7 speaker in there. I don't think it could be a 3x5 or 4x6. I haven't got it open yet. Got one more screw to take apart. And I ordered a 10-meter antenna, and I'll be working on that next. I wasn't going to do any more projects, but I couldn't resist this one. It just arrived yesterday. And it's a 3-element 10-meter antenna, probably a lot like my Pinco. It doesn't weigh much at all. I think it's less than 10 pounds. I use thinner aluminum on it, and I picked up the box, so I'm going to read through it. The neat thing they do, at least this guy, he has on YouTube a site on how to put these things together, assembly instructions. He's got a ground plane. He's got a bunch of stuff. This one covers all the way from CB up to 30 megahertz, so I'm going to think I'll be tuning it for 28.5. And that would produce a stronger signal. I've discussed some work to do with the pole. My other one fell down last week. Luckily, it fell down gently, and my 2-meter antenna that was on top of the rotor had one of the director elements bend a little, and that was it, so it wasn't major damage. So I'm going to put some guy ropes on this one and make it a little shorter. And let's see, I guess that does it for the construction projects. I'm still waking up here, and hopefully I sound okay. Oh, there we go. 80, 100, 110 watts. Okay, that's fine. So I'm turning it over to Ron. And no squirrel report this week, Ron. They were out there with, they were going after the Christmas lights. Now someone or something got to my lights on one of the trees and ate it. They ate the connection, and you do something like that to these little lights, it pretty much, they wiped it out. They ate they tried to eat one of the bulbs, and then they just chopped through it. And they wouldn't, I guess if the power was on, they'd get electrocuted. They must have done it late at night, those sneaky little devils. Over to you, Ron, this K6VXY Groveland. Go ahead.
Over to you.
Okay, so it's antennas. Alright, hoping you guys copy. Yeah, I got most issues in squirrels. Anyhow, Ron and U6F, Lemon Valley, and running the TDE, and today I'm running it with the D104 instead of the carbon mic. Listening on the RAL5. And on the loop antenna, because my remote switch, my remote 4-position switch that I got from Hammond Hi-Fi about 2 years ago, it Friday looks like it went kaput this morning. Weird. Anyhow, so yeah, I went out there to try and bang on it some, power off and on. No, it lane switching. So anyhow, that's the deal. Good deal. Signals otherwise on the loop sound pretty normal, except I've got the horrendous RFI back again. Very broadband, 80 and 40 meters. And no idea. It just has not, I have not heard it all week. Maybe it has something to do with the squirrels down with Vern. I don't know. Okay, Vern, on the new antenna. Well, that'll be cool. I'm not sure where you're going to put the antenna up. If you got a tower there or a mast or what you were going to be using. But good deal. All right. With that, I'm going to give a shot, see if I can hear Bill. N6BCT and U6F.
N6 BCT, Bill, are you out there? W4DVQ.
Everything that's happened all those spins that have been having less than anything that transmitting the tangent road on my Tesla because it keeps cutting down on me. And so I burned the fuse when I tried to turn on. Anyway, so that's a long time. I put it on a 930 is when I thought, and 925, and when I needed to put it around, I fucking called the jam to start charging, and then it would do okay. But it's a really strong problem. I didn't burn up the fuse anyway, so there you go. And so after that, and so that's the story here. So I thought it was for a Google too, and just kind of grab.
Okay, and since the BCT, very good, Bill. You're coming in really good here this morning. But yeah, everybody sounds good. Is there anybody that would like to join us on the last go around for number 1 go around? Okay, I'm confused. And B number 9, this is Whiskey 4 Delta Victor Quebec. Go ahead and check in now. Okay, nothing heard. So I guess we'll start round 2. So guys, I'm going to ask something. It's not radio related. And do any of you take that Omega XL? I was just wondering if anybody takes that. I tell you, this winter I'm really liking the looks of it, but I don't know the outcome of it or nothing, and just wondering. I know you got to pay each month to get it, or how much it is. I'm not sure, but just thought I'd throw that in there. And yesterday, I have no critter stories, but yesterday at work, there's this young kid that is in the Volkswagen Mafia, whatever that is. Today's kids, his stereo in that car was so loud that his tag halfway fell off and was hanging. I lost it. I was laughing at him so hard I had to go inside. It was bad. Because I told him, I was like, if that stereo is going to vibrate all your nuts and bolts, And you're going to be going down the road and parts of your car is actually going to fall off. But, yeah, I just thought I'd throw that in there. But let me check one more time, see if there's anybody who wants to join us for round 2. Please check in now. Okay, nothing heard, so up to Mike. W7MS, this is Whiskey 4, Delta Victor, Quebec.
Okay, here we are with a little touch-up, allowing for frequency drift, a little automatic frequency control via my left hand on the exciter. W7MS here. Well, first of all, Carla, on the Omega XL, I have no response to that. I think it jogs a memory that I believe I've seen it the commercials. But the other comment is, I think fine on the Volkswagen in the in the loose nuts, and I think that might reflect more than just the car on the nuts comments. But great on that, Steve. Thank you. But yeah, looking for a 12-volt unit, and I'll touch on that in a moment. But first of all, I omitted saying good morning. Hello, Henry. Great to hear you, Dave, Chuck, Steve, Vern, and of course my neighbor Ron, and of course Bill as number 8. So good morning to you and Chuck and Carla manning the net control station this morning, or at least Chuck supplying glasses to the net control operator. And a few comments on the season and Christmas. I think the one of the fond memories of this is going in the Wayback Machine was running across a Christmas tune on YouTube by Pretty Reckless, which is fronted by Taylor Monson, which was the little child actor in the Jim Carrey movie, the Grinch movie from 25 years ago, and that brought back a memory of Trevor at age 5 with Mom and Dad going to see the Grinch Who Stole Christmas. And as soon as the Grinch appeared on the screen, he had a total freak out, and we had to cut the movie short. But I had totally forgotten about that, so I created an interesting Christmas Day conversation with my son up in Eugene, and recommended that it's probably at age 30 it'd be safe to catch the video of Taylor Monson singing her 25-year-old song as a 32-year-old adult front singer for a rock and roll band. And the highlight of Taylor is, just a personal opinion, no visible tattoos, which is quite an exception these days. Very attractive lady to act as become a old man pervert here. But to the radio business, yeah, still looking for a 12-volt transformer, maybe a junker. 6 volts isn't going to do in the base, and the reason for that is I was going to run my Premier, which has been sitting around here for quite some time, and that's my latest and probably last, hopefully, RCA aircraft avionics equipment from WW2, and that was the AVT-23 transmitter, which is certainly was not a Grasshopper liaison radio. It probably full tilt boogie. It's about 42 pounds. And designed to be remotely operated and 4-channel crystal controlled with an internal dynamotor, and it runs of interest for the Alpha Tango Bravo. It runs the same as the RCA ATB. It runs the 815, that dual tetrode, in parallel for about a amazing 25 or 30 watts output. And civilian, but built for the Navy. It carries some naval anchor inspection stamps and a big USN stamped on one of the side rails. And along with that, I had the companion, which I believe would be the companion receiver, the RCA AVR-7, which has a vibrator power supply, which I restored a number of years ago. And wouldn't you know, it's the bad luck got the AVT-23 going, which was good to go except for a crystal grind operation. to get it up here on 3974, but fired up the AVR-7 yesterday, assuming that it worked 3 years ago, and blown fuse and smoke. So I think the transformer's gone. It's got that acrid. It's not looking good, but fortunately I did find a U.S. Navy inspection stamp on one of the capacitors, which I had missed years ago. So that led more credence to its suitability as the matching receiver for the AVT-23, but aircraft application unknown. I haven't found anything at all on what they would have stuffed that in. Maybe the Navy version of the DC-3, the 12-volt version possibly, but that's unknown. But it's certainly too heavy to be stuck in a liaison aircraft. So that's my Blither Blather. And Steve, yeah, good. You'll find those. They show up. It's just a matter of what fits your parameters, and who knows? Henry's next is number 2, and I think that'll happen. Dave, I certainly understand your consternation with stiff vinyl, especially aged vinyl, which a few years ago finally occurred to me why I was swearing at military mil-spec cords, which quite often are more of a natural rubber. But they're designed to be pliable and flexible in cold weather, but they also have the issue that they don't age well. But yeah, vinyl is problematic, and I'm sure you'll find it. But one of my best sources for finding odds and ends is looking in the pail of cords and jumpers in thrift stores. Occasionally, you find something that's really applicable to this hobby. That's an improvement over OEM, so to speak. But maybe enough Blither Blather here, but I think we've covered it. And this is all from not having notes, which is quite obvious. But over to Henry, WA7YBS, W7MS.
Just too many cords. Stand by just a second. Actually, everything is not bad. So anyway, just okay, having a heck of a time here. That should do it. Okay. So, anyway, W7MS, WA7YBS. Okay, very good. Yeah, yeah, you can tell that this station is not set up for the convenient one-switch push-to-talk operation. This is kind of like haywired together, like I did it yesterday afternoon, as Chuck mentioned. I guess we were on at the same time. Yeah, it is absolutely correct. I have the receiver on. I figured that, I don't know, it was around 3 o'clock or so. On 75 meters, there wouldn't be anybody to interfere with, so I went ahead and did the checkout and tune-up. And yes, I was using the Chicom Carbon microphone initially, and I listened to it, and I thought, I mean, it's got a lot of response, but it's pretty rough sounding. So I decided to use the EMS 94 Electret modified Chicom Shure look-alike microphone, which hopefully I think sounds a little better, at least a little smoother. So anyway, that's the deal on that. And okay, on other things, yes, dynamotors. Yeah, that's the dynamotor running there, and you can hear it. Put the microphone under the footwell of the desk, and that's where the dynamotor is. Also, where the power supply is to run the dynamotor. And I know Dave mentioned that those 27 amp, 24 volt power supplies were hard to find. And you know, you just got to keep looking on eBay. I see them every once in a while, and they were the two that I got. I guess a guy, you know, they were poles, tested good, so they're used, obviously. And so anyway, they were, I think they were $45 each. And he had, I think he had two of them, and I bought both of them from him. And then about a year earlier, I had bought another 24-volt, 27-amp Lambda power supply, and that one was a little bit more money. That one was 65, I think. But anyway, I go for the poles that are tested, and they're used, but they work, and they work fine. And that's what I have is three 27-amp, 24-volt supplies in series. No, in parallel. Get it right, in parallel. And all adjusted and everything, so the voltage output's virtually the same on all of them. And it'll run a GRC 19, so I can't complain. Theoretically, I got 80 amps available. But anyway, that's the rundown on the power supply that runs the dynamotor that runs the ATD. So with that, let's turn it over to Dave, W6MQI, WA7YBS.
All right, WA7YBS, W6MQI. Well, once you get everything clipped together there, the radio sounds really good there, Henry. Really good. And yeah, with those power supplies, when you say you're putting them in parallel, curious if you had to put like a resistor on each one, so they were kind of to kind of balance them. I always worry about one being drawn on, more current from one than the other when you put something in parallel like that. But not much experience with that. I've just kind of heard things. But other than that, Carla, no experience with the Omega XL here. I guess that's a what is that stuff for your joints? Can't think of the name of it here. I need more coffee. But anyway, I guess that's what it is. But no experience with that one. And Mike, yeah, your son with the Grinch. Yeah, my daughter's here for Christmas. She'll be leaving tomorrow, her and her fiance. No problem with the Grinch, but she used to watch SpongeBob a lot. And there was this one episode that would freak her out. I never could figure that out. Why? But I don't know, kids are strange that way. Little things like that will set them off. But I even talked to her about it later in life. She still freaks out about it. Who knows? Let's see. Yeah, let's see, Vern, your 10-meter antenna, that's cool. Yeah, I recently, well, not recently, last year, I guess, built a 10-meter antenna of a piece of 450 ohm ladder line, made a J-pole out of it. Worked really well, I was surprised. But I haven't been on 10 meters in a long time. I'm always, I don't know, I haven't been too active on the radio. I just kind of get on Sundays. Every once in a while I'll just sit here in the shop here and have the radio go and listen to some net or something at the swap meet or one of those, what is it, Golden Bear net or something like that. Just sit there and listen, just to have something in the background while I'm working. And then project-wise, I'm working on my HF amp for my little QRP radio. Kind of redoing the circuit board. I'm trying to learn, I think it's KiCad or KCAD software to design PCB boards. And I'm trying to lay out a board and maybe have something professionally made instead of grinding it away with a Dremel tool, which works, but it's just not as nice. I'm working on that, and then I pretty much got all my parts sourced for the 630 meter amplifier, and that's what I'm going to need a power supply for. I'm going to run more than 28 volts, probably going to be up in the 40 or 50 volt range. And Antec, makes the one that makes those toroidal transformers. They sell some linear power supplies, high amperage, up to 52 volts, I think. And they actually have other voltages too you can get, but that would definitely solve the problem of switching power supply noise. Although the one I have in here on the ART13 for the 24 volt side is actually pretty quiet. I was really surprised. It's a Meanwell supply, and it does pretty well. Haven't had any problems with noise. Yeah, let's see. I think that's about it. And Mike, yeah, your microphone, your freebie microphone sounds really good. Sounds really good. In fact, you got lucky on that. I'd like to find one of those those old Kellogg microphones that look like an old telephone. You know, it's got a stand like a D104, but the top looks like an old telephone. I always wanted one of those. I have to keep my eyes out open for one of those at one of the swap meets. And yeah, the 4-conductor cable, I kind of been going back and forth with that. I bought some off of eBay, and I got it, and it's like, oh crap, I didn't even think to look. I don't know how this was slipped by my mind, but I think it was the wrong gauge. It was like a 16 gauge or something, or yeah, about 16 gauge. It was way too big for what I wanted. I was trying to force that into a U229 plug. It just wouldn't go. It's way too big. So the gauge wire needs to be pretty small too. So, but I'll keep looking. So anyway, let's see who's next here. Chuck, K0DWC W6MQI.
Okay, Dave. W6MQI, K0DWC. All right. Well, you know, Dave, I only heard a little bit about the cable that you needed. I did a little digging in here, but I found a 40-inch long piece of rubber jacketed 4-conductor cable, but it's 12 gauge. I don't know if that's what you needed for a power cable or not. Maybe you could come back with that. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's for microphone lines and some other digital stuff. I'm using a controller to change frequencies on my little QRP radio, so it needs to be pretty small gauge. That 16 gauge was even too big that I had.
Oh, okay. All right. I heard you were talking about the cable, but I missed that. I wasn't sure what gauge wire you wanted there. But, okay. Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. I found this cable here, this rubber jacketed cable in Home Depot, and they got a pretty good selection over there. Some of it's that tough stuff, and some of it's just, you know, it's got like a rubbers type cable. It's real flexible. You might be able to find that at Home Depot. That's where I picked up just about all of my cord. Before. I mean, I've had to go to McMaster Car numerous times too, but you might just find what you're looking for in Home Depot, maybe, or Lowe's, either one. Anyway, Vern, congratulations on the 10-meter antenna purchase. I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun there, and look forward to hearing about all that, getting everything up and running and all. So. Great job there, and let's see. Yeah, Henry, just like Dave was saying, you know, I know everything's kind of clip-leaded, but you sound, you know, when that thing's right, you sound really good with that particular microphone. You sound much better than the one that I guess you were testing with yesterday. I mean, you were Q5 copy here. But that one sounded just a little gravelly, and I knew you were running something different because I could hear the dynamo going. The dynamotor going. I told Carl, I said, he's going to run something different tomorrow. So anyway, that was kind of fun. I was calling and calling and calling, not thinking you didn't have your receiver. Being the doofus that I am, you know, Carl had to remind me. But anyway, everybody's still coming in really good, and I guess I'll keep it going. I'll send it back over to Steve in Santa Rosa, W6 SSP in the group, K0 DWC. Go ahead, Steve.
Okay, thank you, Chuck. K0 DWC in the group, W6 SSP. First of all, I've heard of Monroe stuff, but no, I have no experience with that stuff. About the only drugs I take are aspirin. I never got into this stuff that doctors like to prescribe all the time. Mike, you know, on your vibrator power supply, as you're probably aware, vibrators can stick if they're sitting around for very long, and quite often that's what burns up power transformers. Back in the day, as a fix, I never did it, but it was in QST quite a bit. People would use filament transformers, heavy filament transformers, backwards. Of course, it depends what kind of voltage you need out of it. As far as modules go, Mallory made a whole line of little vibrator power supplies made for mobile ham rigs. That's what I've got. It's a 6-volt version, but I know they made 12-volt versions. So if you get desperate, you might use something. You might find something like that and use it externally. So anyway, good luck. I know parts like that are sometimes difficult to find these days. So best of luck on that. What else is going on? I'm still screwing around with the Heinz and Kaufman transmitter. To find the coils, if I'm able to find the coils that I mentioned earlier. Set it up for this frequency, and I have a crystal all ground for that. I have to come up with an exciter, which is not a big deal. But another option is to use the power supply and modulator, which are beautifully built, and come up with my own homebrew band switching PA for it. And that's another option. I could even do both. We'll see how things flesh out here. In either case, I'll be using iMac 465 ohms. 2 are going to be used in the existing transmitter. They are original, but they'll work. And if I do a homebrew version, I'll use 3 of them in parallel. So, a little bit of power. Anyway, that's about it here, guys. I've got a bunch going on this morning, so I'll say 73, see you all next weekend. And send it on down to Vern, K6VXY, W6SSP. 73 all, hope you all have a nice New Year.
Okay, thanks. Excuse me. Thank you, Steve. This is K6. Boy, throat phlegm, I guess. Anyhow, it's K6VXY. Yeah, I just hooked up the second speaker. They're in parallel now. The Polk Audio one, I kind of did a measurement with my fingers across the front of it here. The speaker inside here is probably 3 inches by, I'd say about 5, a 3x5 little speaker. I don't know if it's dual cone or not. I haven't got the face off yet. I think I have to take 2 more screws out of the back there to open it up. But it works pretty well. And I think I might use that here because of the space involved. Just set it right on top of the ham radio there. It's fairly heavy, you know. Probably got a good sized magnet in the speaker thing there. They run on sale for $10 a pair. And I asked, well, do they work on it? They says, well, they're all guaranteed, and sure enough, it works. I've texted it on pretty much only my IC 7200. Listening to AM radio, which and some sideband. It works fine on both. The other speaker I got here is probably, I'd say about 8 inches across, 5 inches deep, and about 16 inches high. It's pretty big. That's the Magnavox, and I want to set this on a little shelf that comes with the window behind the setup here, and this little one would work much better. Anyway, the other one's a little brighter. It's a 3-way speaker. Not that we're going to get much out of the tweeter, except for the noise and static that comes along. But the signals are still holding up really good, and yeah, it's going to be a fun project. I'm going to use. I'm going to be reworking the 2x4 to support it at the bottom instead of what I had there before. It was too weak. And I'll use a couple light guy ropes there just to tie it to the rotor in case the wind. We had 50-mile-an-hour winds here. And the rainfall total in the last week there, I think I measured, it was from the 19th through the 26th, and not much happened on either the 19th or 26th in the way of rain, 10th or 2 inch of rain. But for all the rest of it, the total was 5.5 inches last week, so it'd be interesting to see. I know that Mike there in Reno had 0.6 inches, but I bet he got a lot more to report on this week, because that was last Sunday the 21st. We were just starting to get a lot of rain. We got 2 inches in one day, which is pretty good. That was the peak. That was, I think, the 23rd. Yeah. I keep track of this for some reason. I just started doing it. And one of the first years we were here, I think we had like 30 or 40 inches of rain, or even more. I forget. I've got the open up flip top, what do you call it? Notebook with a bunch of the years here. Anyhow, the signals are holding up very well. It's getting a little lighter out there. And like I said, 5 to 7 hours, minutes a week, we get a sunshine rollback. So give this middle January, it's probably going to be like this all the time for several months. And I think it was Dave, you listened to the Golden Bear Net, and that reminded me, that's a couple of people that were in 1010, the Golden Bear chapter. I was a member of that too. I was the Bay Area chapter, was my prime one. 1010 number, I'm not going to give that out, but Bay Area number 123. Yeah, that was kind of neat. I always liked that 123. Anyhow, they're supposedly still meeting on Monday nights, and then there's another one that meets on Wednesday. I didn't hear the one on Wednesday, but I was an hour too late. They switched with the time zones, and it's called the Wind Farms Net. That's out of Livermore, and member of that too. And but I enjoyed 1010 a lot. A lot of XCBers got into it, but they were sure great hams. They were fun, and we have meetings, so I'd say about once every quarter or so, somewhere at a restaurant we'd have a breakfast and all get together, and the Golden Bear chapter would join us, maybe another chapter, and then it was mainly the Bay Area group, and it was great. And I think I told a story, I'll do it again, but John was there. His call, I think it was the W6 call. He was our instructor at the College of San Mateo for the tougher courses in the upper, the second year of the 2-year electronic course. And we're talking about technology and tubes and vacuums, and then the solid state changing, and then you get the MOS and CMOS devices, which I was involved with. And he said, Vern, I'll tell you now, it's been a while since you were at the Stirring, and he was retired by then. But I was 2 weeks ahead of you guys when we did the last course there on solid state or transistor theory. I said, really? And good. It was great. It was great to have an instructor like that, a seasoned ham, one of the veterans. W6 call, I forget what it was now. But anyhow, that was kind of a fun group. And the bear, I think the Golden Bear was Betty and Bill is a KB6AN and KB6YX. I think that was the call. And we used to exchange 1010 numbers. We'd go out there and have the mobiles or something, a couple of the cars, and exchange lists, update on our certificates. I love that. I hope that's still around. I'm going to be looking for it when I get on 10. We're a bunch of nuts just chasing certificates, but it's fun. It's like family, like this is. Very much like that. Anyhow, we're going to go over now to, speaking of family, to Ron and see if he can still hear me. And NU6F, and the group is K6BXY.
Go ahead, Ron.
Okay, back over on the other engine. For a while there, I was with the remote switch, but oh well. It's always another project. Well, you can take one project and it's knocked out. That's weird. The switch was working fine for my 630 meters running every night, and that band has been doing a little bit better, but still I have not worked New Zealand again, which was the best we did last winter. But it's been kind of fun running the one laptop here that I have logged into the Kiwi SDR there on and yeah, it's still doing a bang-up job. I keep waiting for. I look at the wind gusts at the weather station alongside my antenna. Log into the government site there to look at it. Yeah, I see the winds. Probably 3 or 4 days a week are up in the 60 or 70 mile an hour range, and my two loop antennas that are there are on a 2.5-inch diameter fiberglass rod that I got from the dumps, which was an old 5G antenna or 4G antenna from one of the cell providers. So it hasn't broken, and it's guide off 4 ways, but the cows in the pasture can rub against one of the guides. So I always anticipate someday that one of those guys is going to disappear. But no, I've been looking at the signals and uploading the whisper spots from there, and it's working gangbusters from Greece to Texas. A pretty good spread. And let's see, what else? That's about it. Projects here, everything revolving around 630 meters. Dave looking for a power supply for the amp he's going to build. And yeah, I'm looking for parts for another amp also. We're trying to build another amp with big floors. That's here. And yeah, I'm going to be using the same little switching supply, these cheaper ones I found on Amazon, and I've got a decent filter built up that works pretty well with it, and not quite. I'll go with the same manufacturer. This one's adjustable 0 to 48 volts, and I think this one's only 25 amp, something like that. But I think there's bigger ones. So, and Henry, okay, on the 3 lambdas, I was wondering what you were using there in the house. I know you're out of the shop. You got the big military surplus one, but I wasn't sure what you were using there in the house when you were running it. So now I can picture it, the 3 lambdas. And let's see, go to burn. Yeah, you got speakers going on, and the 10-meter antenna. That's great. Squirrels that are busy working on Christmas tree lights instead of antennas. Steve, your idea on the 12-volt transformer backwards for the vibrator supply. Yeah, I think, I remember making switching supply or making multi-vibrator supplies with power transistors, doing it that way in the old days, but yeah, they run kind of warm. They don't like that service. Dave, on the cable, let's see if I've still got this. Yep. On the cable, I'm wondering if you could get by using some rubber hose and fishing wire through. And like I said before, I've resorted to that several times here. And, if it's a smaller one like I'm talking about, maybe some fishing wiper hose and small wire. But at least it's flexible, looks good. Don't put it around high voltage, Joe. I found out almost all of those almost all of the auto type hoses have got carbon granules or something conductive in that rubber. And oh boy, you end up with putting next to some high voltage, it won't last long. And well, let's see, I was going to think that Mike could get a hold of a vibrator supply from a transformer from Carla's Ford, but then, no, it's 6 volt too, so, alright, so much for that. And let's see what else I had here, the 12 volt deal, anyhow, okay, well, I guess that's about it for this end. I'm not sure how much longer the band's going to hold up, but yeah, my interference, I finally switched antennas over to the loop, and it's got about 10 dB less noise than the other antenna. Let it go at that for now. And if the noise is still on, I'll wander around the neighborhood and find it. But it really sounds like it's off the 60 kV line out on the other side of military. All right, with that, Bill, see if you still copy N6BCT in U67.
Okay, Bill, N6 and BCT, are you there? Go ahead and take it, Bill, and give it back to me, W4DVQ. Okay, N6 of BCT, this is W4DVQ. Okay, I want to say 73's to Steve. He checked out early. 73's to you, and Chuck will hand it to Vern, and we'll go from there. But let me just make sure there's not anybody out there who would like to be number 9 on the 73 round. Please come now. Just thought I'd try. So this will be the 73 round, guys. And yeah, on the Omega XL, it's John Walsh, I think what his name is. He promotes this Omega XL, and I don't know. He shows himself with his polo ponies and doing chores and stuff, and he swears by it, but I don't know. So, And also on the vibrator. Old Stella, my old car, hers ain't working either. I can't get the radio to work, so I need one as well. So we're in the same boat. But with that, let's go ahead and start the 73 round and hand it off to Mike, W7MS with W4DVQ.
Well, thank you, Carla. W4DVQ, W7MS, and the great group. 7-3s to Steve, but then we'll be seeing 7-3s at the end of this transmission and listening out, but a little too soon for that. Yeah, fine on the nutrient supplement, Carla, but keep in mind he's being paid big bucks to lie on television. And if there's any extremely unreadable small print at the end of the commercial, you can break out a magnifying glass. It's the dynamics and psychology on advertising, especially for these nutrients products, and that's another reason to hate Washington D.C. when they deregulated Federal Drug Administration 25 years ago to allow this stuff to be made and marketed without testing, so they can make any claims they want to. And I'm sure it's endorsed by a doctor, or endorsed by doctors, which of course could be at least two. So good luck on that, but I think save your money and do some research. That would be my advice, since I'm wearing obviously a white coat and a stethoscope. But let me see, fine on the 630-meter wrap-ups here, various projects going on between Dave and Ron, 10-meter projects for Vern. Congratulations on that. Continued safe success in that area, and there have been some nice openings on 10, so certainly understand why you wish to pursue that. Find on the 12-volt comments, there happened to be one of those power supplies on eBay that I recalled seeing come up on a pop-up, and I went and took a look after my disastrous day yesterday, and the auction had already been closed, and somebody had bought it for, I think, a princely sum of like 20 bucks. So we'll keep an eye out. And I haven't mined the usual suspects here. This is day one of the search, so I'm sure we'll find something. And I'm also going back through the memory bank here. And what do I have in the back garage workshop that I've forgotten that I even have? We'll have to see. And fine on the comment on the transformer, Steve. Yeah, Ron, that was for putting AC on the vibrator to exercise the contacts, to open things up, to run it on 60 hertz. But even to be even more deluxe, I've got one of those vintage vibrator testers that you plug into a tube tester. I've never used it, courtesy of the freebie pile at Hammond Hi-Fi. And speaking of that, and I'm sure Henry's well connected on this, especially maybe through John Lawson, but that's our the gentleman who lived in Minden, maybe it was Gardnerville, who had the fancy T368 with the backboard and all the accessories. Of course, that was, what, 5, 6, 7 years ago, where he was pondering selling his equipment because he was to become a newlywed again. He was a widower, and he was afraid that his Bay Area lady from, from Stanford or maybe UC Berkeley would not be copacetic with the atmosphere in Minden, and he might have a move in his future. Well, I guess he's moved, but he's in the horizontal position in DOA. But I noticed that our friend there in Sparks now has the T368 up on eBay for $5,000. So news for me, maybe old news for you, but it's interesting because he had a lot of nice stuff, and it was nice to see his museum. But he really wasn't really interested in selling unless you were had to have it, and the purchase price was not a consideration. So maybe comments from you, Henry, on that one. And so we'll see where the $5,000 T368 goes. Ron, keep me informed. But I think that's about it. And thanks, Carla. Thanks, Chuck. Thanks for everybody. And over to Henry for maybe any comments on the former retired employee from LA Power and Light, who apparently now is deceased.
WA7 YBS.
W7MS.
Okay. I think we got it right that time. So anyway, very good. And 73 is Steve. And Mike, yeah, I saw that T3 come up yesterday. Yeah, what was really surprising was that it was even offered the possibility of shipping that. And I like the comment. Obviously, it will be very expensive. So, yeah, I think that all that gear together has got to be 1,000 pounds, because the transmitter itself's about, close to 700 pounds, and there's got to be, another 300 pounds of accessories there. And it's really, that's a good setup for your vintage radio teletype. And that's all the stuff. Well, I don't know if it's all the stuff, but it's a lot of the stuff in the GRC 26 type huts. It's all set up for diversity reception. If you had the two R390s and the CV116 diversity teletype demodulator, you could have a real snazzy hut there and go on 850 cycle shift teletype. But yeah, I saw it and I knew about it. And Bob, I think it's about a year ago that Bob died, and I think it was in December of last year. And so anyway, yeah, I knew about that, and of course his sequential serial number R389s. He had two of them. One of them is gone already. Ethan sold it at $3,200 for an R389. I don't know. Anyway, can't lament the prices. It's good for those guys. Good for Ethan and good for Hammond Hi-Fi. And we'll see what shakes out of all of that stuff that belonged to Bob. K6 OSM, I believe, was his call. And but you're right. Everything from Bob had to be worked on. Definitely, it did not work out of the box, and you had to do something to it. It was definitely in need of a little bit of help. But he was a good guy, very very friendly, and if you got to know him, he would deal, but not a lot. But anyway, so much for that. And let's see. Dave, on the power supplies in parallel, what I did is I didn't have any equalizing resistors. There's an adjustable pot on those Lambda power supplies, and I just used a DVM, and I set them to within 20 millivolts of each other. And in fact, I could get even closer than that, and it seemed to be fine. I can draw, max current out of the thing, and it's not a problem. So I just went with the adjust them for equal voltage and hope for the best. Hope they don't drift, but they haven't so far. And I have to comment on this BC348. It's been actually Q5 reception from everybody for over an hour now. So I'm always impressed with the BC348. They've got a lot of capability as long as you know how to run them. 2 RF stages, 3 IF stages, crystal filter, on and on. What can you ask? What more can you ask for? So anyway, we will say 73. Everybody have a good week. And I think I'll be net control next week. Oh boy. So with that, 73 all around, and we'll turn it over to Dave, W6MQI, WA7YBS.
All right, WA7YBS, W6MQI. All right, Henry. Fine business on the power supplies. I guess if somebody was really anal, they could maybe put little voltmeters on each power supply and they could monitor it. But sounds like you got it going there. Yeah, I was curious. I always hear about that, you know. Don't put power supplies in parallel unless you do this. Okay, but I've never tried it, but good information there. And yeah, I was looking at that T368. Man, yeah, $5,000. No thanks. But I finally, my TCK communication went dark, and I sent some emails a while back. Nothing came back. I was like, uh-oh. Well, finally, I sent one a couple days ago, and the guy got back to me. So things are still on, and he's going to come out in the springtime, which I kind of understand. Trying to go across country in the winter is not too nice. So I've got some other stuff. I told him that he can use the TCK, and he's going to purchase that stuff as well. But it sounds like they're getting their museum all set up. They actually cut the wall open on the side of the building and did a little pop-out, I guess, to put the TCK in there. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I'd like to maybe one day stop by the museum there in Tennessee and check it out once they get it all set up. But let's see, Vern, yeah, I forgot about that wind farms net. There's also an NL retirement old fart net. I've never listened to it. Maybe one of these days I'll look that up, see what times they're on, see who's on there. About the only person I probably know anymore is Rich 86X. What's his name? He's not from the lab. Drawing a blank. But anyway, I used to belong to Lark years ago, and one of my friends, John Horton, WA6BOB, he's a silent key now. There was some bad blood between. He was a repeater operator owner, and they had the local repeater operators here, and there was some bad blood going between all of them. And since I was friends with John, you know, I was guilty by association. So a couple of those guys in that club don't talk to me. I don't know why. It had nothing to do with any of that stuff. But because I was friends with John, I was guilty of all of it. Oh well. And the winds, you know, it got windy here, but up at the local observatory on Mount Hamilton, they were well over 100 miles an hour, and the Lake Observatory had these doors that slide open so the telescope can look out, and then, you know, they slide closed. One of those ripped off from the wind and came down and crashed on an adjacent building. So the Lake Observatory is closed for at least, they're saying 6 months. It'll probably be longer. But that door that came off was, I guess, several tons, a couple of tons. That's a lot of wind to be able to throw something that big. That's crazy. You know, I might check it. I've had pretty good luck with really flexible mic cords and things like that from Guitar Center. I might check them out. And then, yeah, Ron, I thought about, okay, I'll just get 4 wires and make my own cable. It might resort to that. And if I make it out to the Info RCA swap meet this year, I'll dig through people's piles of junk and see if I can find something. But I'm not in a big hurry. What I got's working. It's just really stiff. Anyway, guys, 73 to everybody, and the net hung in there today with the sun coming up and everything, so that's cool. So 73 everybody, and over to, let's see, Chuck, K0DWC, W6MQI.
K0DWC, all right. Yeah, I saw that T32 last night on eBay and all the stuff that went with it. I don't know about the price. The price probably is in the ballpark for all of that, I would think. But, man, I tell you, Henry had a good point there about the shipping. Man, that would be mega bucks for that thing to come from anywhere, really. That thing's probably going to have to be sold locally. Mike? Hint, Mike? But I'll tell you what, when I had my T3, Carla was working at a company she'd been with for many, many years. She knew all the truck lines and all the people there. And when I bought my T3, I found it on QRZ, or not QRZ, but the other one, QTH. It was a guy in Texas that had it. And had the guy had the guy wrap it up and Carla ship it to Carla's work, and it was a paltry sum of I believe $250 to ship that thing to Texas to her work, and that was what we were looking at 13 years ago or so. Now Henry's got it and went through it. It's really a great transmitter now, but just goes to show you, it would have been expensive even then if Carla wouldn't have got the brakes that she got working through that company. So I got lucky, really, I really did. But it's going to cost mega bucks, like Henry said, to ship that thing with all the accoutrements to go with it. But nice piece though. It looks pretty nice, the whole setup there. But anyway. I'll say my 7.3s, and Henry will be in that control next weekend. And you guys take it easy, have a good New Year and all, and we'll talk to you again on Sunday. So with that, I'll say 7.3s and send it down to Vern. Oh, 7.3s to Steve. Also, K6VXY in the group. This is K0DWC. Go ahead, Vern. 7.3, guys.
Okay, thanks, Chuck. And 73s to Steve. I'm not sure about Ron and Bill. I think Bill's going to still be there, but Ron may have signed out. But I'm going to throw it open when I say 73s. But here it is, almost 8:30, 8:25, according to this wonderful clock on the wall here. Actually, it's on top of a 100-watt dummy load. And the signals are holding up well. This has been very good. And Mike has settled back to about 10 to 20 over. So the signal, he was peaking at 30 over when it started. That was an hour ago. Actually, an hour and a half ago. Wow. So we're doing pretty well. So, as far as that antenna, I couldn't resist it either because they have instructions on YouTube Plus. It's built out of that lightweight aluminum. I used to have a Finco 4-element 10-meter beam, and that thing only weighed 12 pounds. This is a 3-element, and I think I picked up the box I think it's pretty close to the same. And I'm going to see if I can run it as a 2-element because of the way it's set up here. I'll have to take a look at the instructions, but I ran my 4-element antenna when I was in Dublin, especially as a 2-element. And then I had a 2-meter beam above it, and that's what I want to do again. And I'll have my 2-meter vertically polarized 5-element above it. I don't have to move it up very much, and then I can have them both running and rotating, and that'd be fun. It's amazing, but just working a place like Twain Harte or other parts of Sonora here from Groveland, you need some power. Like I was on the net, they have a 10-meter net that meets on Monday night, and then there's also on Thursday night, there's the 2-meter net at 147.51, I believe it is, 147.51. And I need the beam to reach those areas, some places in Twain Harte and over that way, just the hills. But the trees here aren't real big close by, and I think I'm going to get away with about 14, 15 feet on the height of the 10-meter beam. And I'm going to get a new 10-foot piece of EMT aluminum. That'll be my base instead of the 6 and 10 together. And then I'll have just couple of little piece of maybe 3 or 4 foot piece of PVC above it. I know it doesn't last, but I'm not planning on having it up more than a couple of years because the band will go south, or maybe the operator here will go south. I don't know. I'm getting up there. So, yeah, Barb just had her birthday Christmas Eve. I won't say how old she is, but she's 6 months older than me. So, I'm going to turn it over to Ron or Bill. I'm not sure if they're still there. The antenna was $159. I couldn't resist it. If you want a 10-meter beam nowadays, they want $300 to $400 for it. I said, no way. And I saw this one, and it looked good, and they have a picture of it too, and the assembly instructions. It's going to be very much like having the Finco, or Cushcraft used to make an A10-3 or something for less than 200. They don't anymore, but I couldn't resist the price, so I'm going to get back on 10 and see who's around. There's the Old Fort group, the New England Nutmeg, the Chattanooga Choo Choo group, the Gorilla group. There's a bunch of Texas. Wonder if they're around. I had all those certificates. I probably can order from them and get the new certificates because they all went in the fire. There's a lot of stuff in the fire. Don't even talk much about it anymore. Anyhow, over to Ron, Bill, or Carla. This is K6 VXY.
Okay, see if I got it. Literally, that noise, it is so bad when Vern's got a really good signal and when the QSB is in his favor. But man, that noise, it's a racket. So I heard my other typical noise, which is that every 10 or 20 kc through 80 meters at 75, off and on during the week, and then it seemed to disappear. But I'll be darned if this thing, which is just typical AC, typical transmission power line noise, spitting and sparking, it is a killer, man. So I am pretty much deaf, even with the loop antenna. I can try to orient it some, see if I can null out the mystery noise, but man, it's something else. Well, I did my problem with my remote antenna switch. Gosh, yeah, I'll have to go ahead and take that box back in the house and then put it on the bench and see what's going on with that. Probably one of the mods I did to add an extra function to it, so we'll strip it back original and see. And let's see, miscellaneous stuff there, shipping on the T3, the receivers, the teletype stuff. Holy cow, it's going to be a really dedicated collector. Yeah, Dave, you've added the extra info on the TCK sale. I didn't catch all the drift last time on what happened, if it fell through or not, but it sounds like maybe it's still in the running. So let's hope so. And Chuck, okay, on your shipping to Carla's old address, yeah, $250. Can you imagine that? And I didn't realize that's the one, that's the T3 that Henry has. I didn't realize that it's yours and then over to Henry. So at least the second time it shipped, that was a heck of a lot easier. Only had to go from Dayton to Dayton. And Mike, okay, on the, oh yeah, thinking about the Trevor and the Grinch Christmas. Yeah, having to pick him up, and you guys having to take him out of the theater. What a dramatic deal. there's probably some type of 12-step program you can go to take care of that. And let's see, Steve's already signed. I guess that's it. All right, guys, thanks a bunch, and hopefully next week I'll have my the long wire antenna. That's a possibility here, and I won't have the interference. Oh yeah, hope springs eternal. All right, guys, catch you later. With that, I'll pass it back up to you, Carla, and thanks for riding the herd on the crowd. And if you can, make a recording in that VW Mafia backfiring in the parking lot.
Yeah, go ahead, Bill. It's you, and then hand it to me, W4DVQ. Go ahead. Okay, very good, Bill, and 73s to you. And yeah, Dave, I was just thinking my amplifier cord that I have that plugs into my mandolin, that would be perfect. So yeah, I was gonna suggest the guitar store. And okay, on the Omega whatever. I ain't gonna mess with it. I'll just keep going like I'm going. Chuck's just gonna have to do a little bit more rubbing. So, that's that. And, I had something else on my mind, but I can't think of what it was. I'm having a brain fart. So, I'm gonna, get my glasses. I gotta close the net. This is W4, Delta Victor, Quebec, securing the vintage military radio net for Sunday. I would like to thank everyone for their participation and invite everyone back next Sunday morning where Henry will be net control. We are now turning the frequency over to regular amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 4, Delta Victor, Quebec. Signing off, guys, and thank you so much. 73.
73.
Well, you're welcome, Carla, and 7-3s to you and Chuck. And Chuck, we'll keep an eye on that T3. If it's still there in a year and a half, we'll see what the price is. W7MS.
Okay, Mike. When I saw that, you were the first one that came to mind. But that is a beautiful setup he's got down there, Ethan. But when I saw that, I'm like, man, that's got Mike Road all over it.